Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
In the headlines, national broadcaster DBS Radio will honor 13 staff members for their contributions over the years. In news from the region, CARICOM pleased with the pandemic agreement. And internationally, hundreds arrested as calm returns to Los Angeles. Good evening, I am Leila Langford. Details of the news when we return.
It's the energy of we people, something pulsing inside. It beating every soul, a feeling we cannot hide. It's always pushing us forward, the limit up in the sky. There's rhythm in how we flow, a rhythm that can't be denied. It's in the feeling in how we talk. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart, who we are. Cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping.
DBS News.
Welcome back. In our lead story this evening, national broadcaster DBS Radio will honor 13 staff members for their contributions over the years. A long service awards ceremony is scheduled for Friday at the Fort Young Hotel from 10 a.m.
DBS Radio will recognize staff members who entered the corporation many years ago. It is more than presenting long service awards. In fact, it is more like saying thank you for what you continue to do. Curtis Matthew, the acting manager, had this idea for a while now. In fact, he mentioned this many years ago in his early years as news editor. So a ceremony is planned for the Fort Young Hotel at 10 a.m. on Friday, June 13, and the 13 staff members will be recognized. If we were to do the math and add all these years of service from staff who will be recognized, the sum will be in the hundreds. And the recognition will be given across the board: news and sports, management positions, programming, technical department, sales and marketing, and more. And this has been done with support from people and business places outside of DBS Radio. We continue to have a high level of confidence in the national broadcaster. It is a short ceremony, but it's not the length of the event, it is the depth of the event. There are a few remarks on the agenda and the presentation of awards, and then it's back to continue the duties that we signed up for at DBS Radio. So it's back to studio to inform, to educate, to entertain. There is a saying that the reward for work well done is an opportunity to do more, but also the reward for long service helps strengthen employees' loyalty and commitment. And so DBS Radio recognizes staff members.
Program Director at the Dominica Broadcasting Corporation, DBS Radio, Ivona John Baptist Luge. Plans are underway for the construction of a $6.5 million rehabilitation center for the Dominica State Prison. The announcement came from Minister for National Security, Rayburn Blackmore, as he outlined new efforts for rehabilitation of inmates.
We have designed and assigned a costing to a rehabilitation center that will actually be like a center of excellence within the prison setting. So vocational skills can be taught to our inmates in various disciplines. And that is something we're going to actually pursue with a high degree of intensity. And of course, that is something I've heard the Prime Minister made reference to. And the ministry therefore has to give credence to the policy or statement issued by the Prime Minister. And we're committed towards that. The design is completed. I will be heading towards that. So I'm happy that as we speak, we have a number of inmates who are pursuing the CXC, in English and social studies as we speak. And of course, we are now on the last day of a training module where inmates are being taught as to how to make soap and candles. So when they leave the prison setting, that is something they can do as form of an enterprise development and to engage themselves and to create some kind of livelihood and to contribute to our society.
Minister for National Security, Rayburn Blackmore. Mr. Blackmore says new security measures will be introduced at the Dominica State Prison. He says prison officers themselves will go through security checks at the facility.
And we have just received money, and thank you to the Prime Minister, or my Minister and the Minister of Finance, of over $200,000 to upgrade our camera system at the prisons, and to observe every aspect and every angle of the prisons. And we're going to introduce scanners. And everybody coming into the prison setting, including prison officers, have to go through a scan. And we'll get independent people to man the scanners. This foolishness of bringing in objects to the prisons and things that should not be there, and drugs, etc., is a costly exercise. And the cameras was almost more than $250,000 to invest. Plus, we have actually received the money over $150,000 for the scanners. And the scanners will be installed at the prisons. And also, everybody, including prison officers, have to be scanned, their bags upon leaving, upon entering.
Minister for National Security, Rayburn Blackmore. Mr. Blackmore led a Ministry of National Security walkthrough at the Dominica State Prison today. Thanks to the listeners of Acoustic Worship Radio for tuning in with us on the DBS Evening News. In other news this evening, Chair of the National Emergency Planning Organization, NEPO, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, has convened a meeting of subcommittee heads to review Dominica's preparedness for the 2025 hurricane season and to reinforce the government's commitment to a coordinated and effective emergency response. The discussion focused on the readiness of the sectors, the coordination of emergency response plans, and the measures in place to safeguard lives and property. The meeting received comprehensive reports from the Office of Disaster Management, the Med Service, Health, Welfare and Relief Supplies, Shelter, Food and General Supplies, Environmental Protection, Transportation and Evacuation, the Dominica Fire and Ambulance Service, the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force and utility companies. The Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, ICA, is set to implement a rapid disaster response project for the agricultural sector in the region. Greg Rawlins, the ICA representative for the Eastern Caribbean, made this announcement during ICA's annual accountability seminar this morning. Rawlins says several initiatives will be launched to enhance resilience within Dominica's agricultural sector.
I'm happy to report that ICA has secured resources to implement a project designed to establish a quality seed program for rapid agricultural disaster response in the Caribbean region, which will ensure that there is easy access to seed and planting materials after any devastating impact on the sector, thus allowing for timely restoration of production and livelihoods in the sector. The project will involve the establishment of mobile seed banks, a regional supply network, a strategy to leverage external financial resources, and a training program that supports the sustainability of the system. We anticipate that Dominica, which has recently established the Dominica-China Agricultural Science Complex building, which includes a facility for storage of seed, will play an active role in this project. In addition, I'm pleased to inform you that ICA has submitted to the Green Climate Fund a concept note for the CARICOM Climate Resilient Farming Project called CCRIF, which includes Dominica as one of the beneficiary countries. The project aims to reduce the overall risk of investing in the agricultural sector, by implementing climate-resilient agroecological practices, reducing post-harvest losses and waste, and leverage the natural capital assetization of soil, circular business models, and low greenhouse gas emissions branding. ECA will serve as the accredited entity of the GCF for this project.
Representative of the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, ICA, for the Eastern Caribbean, Greg Rawlins. Minister for Agriculture, Roland Royer, praised the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture, ICA, for its role in empowering youth in agriculture.
ICA's commitment to empowering our youth continues to shine. With an investment of US $37,200 from NBD, ICA provided technical leadership, coordination, and supervision to execute impactful activities that promote food security, sustainable waste management, and agricultural education, benefiting 55 students. These students now possess critical skills in crop production, composting, irrigation system, and sustainable farming practices. It is programs like these that not only plant the seeds of knowledge, but also grow the next generation of agricultural leaders. So I want to commend NBD and ICA for this partnership. Very thank you. Additionally, ICA played an instrumental role in partnership with the OECS Commission in hosting a Youth in Agriculture Symposium, a vibrant 3-day event aligned with OECS FAST strategy, bringing together over 55 participants from 6 OECS member states. This symposium was a powerful platform to foster innovation, knowledge sharing, and youth participation in the agricultural sector.
Minister for Agriculture, Roland Royer. Chief Magistrate Candia Carrett George says the appointment of a new magistrate soon will greatly enhance services at the courts in Dominica. She says Dominica will soon get close to a full complement of magistrates.
Well, we have been advocating for full complement, and I must say we're getting there. We are presently at 6, and one has recently been assigned to the magistrate's court. I prefer not to name the person yet because she has not yet taken her oath of office. A Dominican, yes. So as soon as she does, then we will be at 7, almost at full complement. So we're getting there. Things are looking up. All of the old districts are getting service. Yes, I am pleased. I'm just hoping that those we are able to keep them, and we're able to get the one more so we can be at full complement.
Chief Magistrate Candia Carrett George. Weather officials in Dominica are forecasting hot but not record hot temperatures for the upcoming weeks. Meteorological assistant at the Dominica Met Service, Vernie Masley Honoré, shared this information during the 4th National Climate Outlook Forum held this morning. Honoré says there is a possibility of experiencing high heat stress next week.
For next week, that is June 22nd to July 6th, and based on the key, so basically at Canefield and Douglas Charles, there's a below normal chance of experiencing unusually warm temperatures into next week. So when the heat season, and it's expected to be very warm, temperatures expected to be comfortable. So a medium chance of having a day with high heat stress next week. So while the temperature is expected to be comfortable, it doesn't mean that we cannot have extremes now and then. So any particular day next week, we could find a situation where we have a day where you can't get high heat stress. So our key messages for this wet season: drier to wet as usual conditions are expected, increasing humidity from June to September. The season is likely to be hot, but not record hot. The usual number of wet days are expected. More than usual, 7 wet days and very wet spells are likely, which could result in flash flooding, and therefore there's a moderate to high potential for this, particularly in the north of the island. Usual to higher than usual nighttime and daytime heating, with increasing, particularly in western communities. So there's a chance that areas in the northeast may be as cool as usual, or maybe comfortable, or more comfortable. Coral bleaching to reach alert level 2 by the end of August, and moderate to severe level of sargassum is expected into September.
Meteorological assistant at the Dominica Met Service, Vernie Masley Honoré. The 4th National Climate Outlook Forum took place under the theme Strengthening Resilience, Bridging Health and Climate for a Safer Dominica. Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Kent Edwards, says the ministry has implemented several initiatives to build a more resilient health sector in Dominica.
This forum is especially timely. The work being done here, particularly the Climate Change and Health Bulletin, aligns well with our ongoing efforts to develop digital health legislation, implement a health management information system, and enhance management to our public assistance program. These initiatives are grounded, data-driven decision-making, intersectoral collaboration, and development of climate-resilient health and social systems. In our response, we continue to prioritize the most vulnerable children, the elderly, and those living with chronic conditions. Our comprehensive social protection programs are designed to address their needs across all stages of life, including during times of climate-induced hardship. While we are making critical progress, we also continue to call upon our regional partners, international agencies, and civil society to stand with us. Climate change is a global challenge that demands a collective and coordinated response. Only through shared efforts, knowledge, and resources can we protect the health of our people and ensure sustainable development. We are grateful for the support we have received thus far, but much remains to be done. Our resilience is only as strong as our actions today. Let us continue to strengthen the bridge between climate and health and build a safer, healthier Dominica for ourselves, our children, and for generations to come.
Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Kent Edwards. That's the national focus, regional and international developments up next.
It's the energy of we people, something pulsing inside. It beating every soul, a feeling we cannot. It's always pushing us forward, the limit up in the sky. There's rhythm in how we flow, a rhythm that can't be denied. It's in the feeling in how we talk. It's in the meaning in our spot. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are, 'cause the rhythm of life keeps bumping.
DBS News.
In news from the region, the Deputy Secretary General of the Caribbean Community, CARICOM, Dr. Armstrong Alexis, says the formal adoption of the pandemic agreement by the World Health Assembly last month is critical to the 15-member grouping's ability to provide for the needs of its population in the event of another pandemic. The agreement outlines principles, approaches, and tools for enhanced international coordination across various areas, aiming to strengthen the global health for pandemic prevention, preparedness, and response. This includes equitable and timely access to vaccines. The CARICOM Deputy Secretary General said these are vital aspects of the agreement for safeguarding the region's health infrastructure during a pandemic. And internationally, an unease calm has descended over Los Angeles after the first night of a curfew lifted today as cities across the U.S. brace for more protests. In Los Angeles, nearly 400 people have so far been arrested, including 330 undocumented migrants and 157 people arrested for assault and obstruction, including one for the attempted murder of a police officer. Speaking alongside 30 regional mayors at a news conference today, LA Mayor Karen Bass blamed the protests on U.S. President Donald Trump's immigration raids, which she said provoked residents by causing fear and panic. Overnight, Los Angeles police said they made mass arrests after a fifth day of protests over the immigration action. That's news, the DBS Evening Sports Report. Up next.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
It's the energy of we people, something pulsing inside. It beating every soul, a feeling we cannot. It's always pushing us forward, the limit up in the sky. There's rhythm in how we flow, a rhythm that can't be denied. It's in the feeling in how we talk. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are, 'cause the rhythm of life keeps bumping.
Welcome to the DBS Evening Sports Report. South Africa A picked up a 7-wicket win over the West Indies A team in the second unofficial test match today. South Africa A entered day 4 of play on 68 for 2, needing only 32 runs for victory. They got the win, posting 100 for 3. Final scores were West Indies A 220 and 211 and South Africa A 332 and 100 for 3. The Dominica Football Association Premier and First Division Women's Leagues will kick off this weekend. PRO of the Dominica Football Association, Abby Lawrence, has the details.
The Dominica Football Association is pleased to announce the resumption of its Premier First Division and Women League. In our Premier Division on Friday, we will have Point Michelle coming up against Harlem United SC at 6:30 p.m. at the Stock Farm Technical Center. On Saturday, the 14th day of June, we will have Mao, Belfast Estate Mao Soca Strikers doing battle with Southeast at 7 p.m. while at 4:30 p.m. DSFC will do battle with We United FC. These games are at the Stock Farm Technical Center. On Sunday, Roosevelt Scarlet Bombers will come up against 767 Cuts Redicast East Central FC at 6:30 p.m. at the Benjamin Park, while Middleham will do battle with league leaders Central Cooperative Credit Union Double Limited FC at the Stock Farm Technical Center. These are the premier matches scheduled for the weekend. On Thursday, in our First Division game, Exodus will come up against BAA Sharks FC at 6:30 p.m. at the Benjamin's Park, while St. Joseph FC will meet Northside FC on Saturday 5 p.m. at Benjamin's Park. All Saints will do battle with Tarish United at the Geneva Playing Field at 4 p.m. on Saturday. In our women's game, Belfast Estate Mao Soca Strikers will come up against Kalinago Warriors FC at the Almond Park in Dublin on Friday at 6:30 p.m. while Dubla FC will do battle with All Saints University School of Medicine at the Benjamin's Park. This game is Friday at 6:30 p.m. While on Sunday in our Loans women game, Sajiko Southeast FC will come up against Harlem FC at La Plaine Playing Field at 5 p.m. This is Eddie Lawrence, PRO, Dominica Football Association. These again are the scheduled matches for our football league.
Our thanks to PRO of the Dominica Football Association, Abby Lawrence. A 5-wicket haul for Gajiso Rabada led to Australia's collapse to 212 all-out on day one in the final of the ICC World Test Championship against South Africa. Rabada claimed 5 for 51 to move past Alan Donald and up to 4th on South Africa's all-time wicket-takers list. Marco Chassin also picked up 3 wickets for South Africa. Batting for Australia, Bo Webster got 72 and Stephen Smith 66. South Africa at stumps on day one were 43 for 4. Michelle Stark took 2 wickets for 10 runs. Josh Hazelwood and Pat Cummins had 1 wicket each. South Africa trailed Australia by 169 runs. In other sports this evening, Dominica ended their campaign in the CONCACAF qualifiers for the 2026 FIFA World Cup with a heavy defeat to the Dominican Republic in their final match on Tuesday. Dominica entered the match knowing that a win would see Dominica finish the group in 3rd place, but it was the home team that came out dominating events. Dominica were down 4-0 at halftime. The team put up a much better performance in the second half, but could not find the back of the net with the few chances they managed. In the end, the Dominican Republic won 5-0. Head coach Ellington Sabin was disappointed with the showing.
Well, we started the first half, we gave up 4 goals in the first half. We started kind of slow, but we made improvements in the second half of the game, only conceding 1 goal in the dying moments, and that is a positive takeaway from the game. 5-0 against a team that's preparing to play Mexico next Saturday is not the worst score, but that's not what we came out for. But in the end, is what happened this evening.
Where can you pinpoint where things went wrong? We conceded 4 in the first half. What are some of the defensive errors you think we made?
Well, I wouldn't say it went wrong. It's just some decision making sometimes and communication at the back there. But overall, it was not a totally bad game. Like I said, 4-0 against a team preparing to play Gold Cup against Mexico next week is not too bad.
All right, and looking at this second half, a much better effort. Yes, Dominica conceded another goal late in the second half there, but what would you pinpoint as to some of the reasons for that better performance in the second half?
Well, defensive organization and compactness and stifling them in the middle of the field, giving them the space out wide and not allowing them to penetrate and running and tracking the runners of the ball.
All right, Coach, that brings us to the end of the World Cup qualifiers. We'll finish in 4th place on 3 points. How would you sum up the campaign?
Well, the campaign wasn't the best of campaigns. We had some tough opponents in the beginning, but towards the end we showed character. We have won a game. So it augurs well for a team of that youthful nature going forward into football, Dominican football.
You mentioned youthful, of course, a lot of new guys, young faces, played some sort of role in the World Cup qualifiers. How would you, assess them, and how would you plan on helping them to improve on their craft for years to come?
Well, it's just time. It's just to give them time, give the youth time. It's like I said, it's a youthful thing, just to give them time to gel, to give them time to understand how we want to play. And in the future, I expect good things from them.
Head coach Ellington Sabin. Travis Joseph captained the side last night.
Well, my thoughts on the game really, I didn't feel like I was outplayed, because those goals came from simple basic mistakes and things we shouldn't let happen, but that's how it is on the day, and we just have to accept it and go and regroup.